Hello guys, I'm back from another video and today we're talking about what if Deku was in RWBY. So in the last video we talked about how after waking up from his first night at his new dorm room with his, new teammates and as, Team Colorless, he would decide to bake breakfast for all of them. After making breakfast for all of them, they would start to eat, and after eating they would start leaving to go to their first class, which was, Dr. Oobleck, or, Professor Oobleck. So, after their class and also a bit of glares and also a bit of talking to his old teammates, aka Team RWBY, and also his friends from like Team Juniper, they would start leaving to go to the lunchroom, and after arriving there, they would just mostly eat, talk, and even have some fun, even interacting with, with the used to be Team Cardo, now known as Team Colorless. But, they would also be introduced to a new person, aka, Sun, or I'm just gonna be calling her Star Wukong, and also her friend, Amphitrite, which is basically just the female equivalent to Neptune. And after meeting her, he would basically, ask her a few questions, which, she was happy to, ask him. And after a while of talking, and also, a bit of glaring for the other girls because they're pretty much jealous at her, basically getting some of the attention that Izuku's, giving her, well, we currently see, Team, what is their name? Team Civics? Or at least I think so. That's supposed to be Coco and, Velvet's team. While Team Civics is basically there, they're, specifically two of their members, Coco and Velvet, were pretty much sad knowing that they can't really interact with Izuku right now because they're going on a mission later. And so after that, everybody would start to leave. After leaving, we go to Izuku, basically, with the rest of his teammates, as, one of them would ask that they should probably go on a, hangout session to basically get their, well, in the words of an old, on an old FGU, like a old, FGO YouTuber be like, well, we should probably get our bond levels up. Yeah, that's basically what it is. So, they decide to do some, they decide to do a hangout session later, so, after that, we basically ended off, that part, and we go to a different part, more specifically a different perspective, where we currently see, a completely traumatized, Roman Torchwick after almost getting destroyed by Izuku. While he was there, he would just get annoyed by, how Mercury, or in this case Mercy, and also, Emerald are basically there just like doing their own thing, basically arguing. While currently Coco is, not Coco, I meant, Neo, as Neo is basically doing her own thing, basically texting Izuku while Izuku is texting her back. So, after a while, he would get a call from Cinder, and after answering it, she would ask that she wants to talk to, to both Emerald and also, her, aka, Mercy. And after, going, basically talking to Cinder, apparently Cinder wants them to basically capture and convince Izuku to basically join them. And after seeing the photo of him, Mercy was a bit interested, mostly because, dick. God dang it! Yes, dick. God dang it. And so, after telling them that they should try and capture Izuku, well, they would decide to do so. Mostly because of, because it's, their mistress. What the because it's their, because it's their mistress order. And so, after being told of this, they would basically end the call. While, after hearing that, well, for him, aka, Mr., Torchwick over there is a bit terrified knowing that if, Izuku were to know that, that they're gonna be teaming up with him, well, he's about to get fucked over. Yeah, there's definitely gonna be something of that sort happening, maybe. And so, we basically ended off the episode right off there. So, yeah, I hope you liked the explanation about what happened last episode, and so, let us talk about what happens next, ladies and gentlemen. And, oh yeah, I almost forgot about this part. Well, General Ironwood is a girl, so in this universe, so yeah, I'm also probably gonna add her to the harem. Oh boy. And I also forgotten to also tell you guys that, during the, what happened last episode part of this, video is, General Iron basically came to school and basically talked to Osmond, blah blah blah. So yeah, so that's basically what happened last episode. This is the actual explanation, okay? Okay, let's go on to the actual video, guys. So, we currently see Izuku basically, with, some of his teammates. They're currently in, in the city of Vale, basically doing their own thing. Mostly hanging out to basically boost their, I guess you can say morale, sort of. It's more like, a team working exercise, sort of. They're basically getting to know each other a little bit more. While Izuku's basically with them, Izuku noticed them basically being a little bit more chaotic, to say the least. Like, for example, Rachel can be a little bit of a psychopath sometimes, especially during games, especially during the arcade. And we also saw, Dove being a little bit, shy around people, especially, you know, especially during her time, basically, like, when they're in a restaurant. Yeah, let's just say she was not really having that. So Izuku had to, order for her, which was a bit funny to him. But he would also ask her why did she act like that. Apparently the reason why is because of, her childhood. Which I know it's probably not true. It's just, I'm just adding a little bit of quirks to them because I'm going to be making them sort of nice in this universe. So yeah, they're not going to be asshole-ish at all. But I am maybe planning to make a redo of this What If, maybe in the future, if my channel still, is still going on. Maybe. And I'm also probably gonna add in, maybe instead of, these powers, as in, the dojutsu. Instead, it's probably gonna be something else. Maybe a twist, ladies and gents? Or maybe I should go for the original other idea that I had for them. Being for Izuku having the powers of, the powers of all the members of the Akatsuki from Naruto. Or, have the abilities of using, having the ability to summon noble phantasms, and also have the ability to summon heroic spirits. Yeah, oh boy, I'm maybe planning to make that, maybe. Anyway, continuing on. After a while, we currently see, Izuku and the rest of his, the rest of the team, Turtleless, as they would start leaving to go back home. After arriving back home, he would see, Ruby on the floor, as a few people basically came by and basically picked her up. After noticing this, he would decide to come near them, as he would say this. Hey, Ruby. As she would say this. Oh, hey, Zuku. After hearing that, both the people there would basically look at him, as he would notice them. One of the girls seems to have, grayish, silverish hair with, silverish eyes. She seems to be wearing, a uniform that seems to be similar to... Wait for a second. Seem to be wearing something that, Mistral students would wear. As the other one also seems to be from Mistral as well. She seems to have greenish hair and somewhat reddish eyes. And the final one seems to be a girl with, darkened hair and red flaming eyes. Looking like they're actually made out of flames. As Izuku would say this. So, hello there, he would say. As one of them would say this. Oh, hello there, said, the girl with the silverish hair. She would say, the name's Mercy. I'm from, Mistral, including my other teammates over there. As he would look over and would see the two other girls. As Cinder would walk up to him. As she would say this. So, you must be the famous Izuku Midoriya. As he would say this. Yeah. As she would say this. It's nice to finally meet the three-eyed demon, she would say. As he would say this. Three-eyed demon, he would say. As she would say this. Yeah, that's what most of the people called you when they first saw the video. I mean, it sort of makes sense. After all, your three eyes are quite interesting, she would say. As after saying that, she would basically grab Izuku by the chin, as she would say this. Hope to see you in the Vista Festival, she would say. As Izuku would just stare into her eyes, her red flaming eyes, seeming to be more malicious. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's so cold. Jesus, what the sorry about that. God, it felt cold a little bit. Sorry about that. Anyway, continuing on with the episode, we currently see, Izuku just there seeing her eyes. Her eyes seems to be somewhat warm, but also seems to have a bit of a malicious intent in them. As after Ruby saw that, she would start becoming a little bit jealous, including the other girls, which she started becoming a little bit attached to Izuku. Not in that way. I mean, I am planning to add him to the harem, but not yet, for now. Anyway, continue on with the episode. So, as after doing so, she would basically let go of her hand on Izuku's chin as she would say this. Now, I hope to see you again, she would say, as she would wave her hand a little bit as she would say this. That boy is quite cute, she would say, but guess I will just have to wait until I get him. And especially give him to Mistress. I wonder what Mistress is planning to do to him, she would say to herself. As, Emerald would say this. So that's the guy. I thought they would be a little bit more scarier, she would say. As, Mercy would say this. I mean, I think that he's, sort of cute, but in my opinion, as she would start looking at, Izuku, she would say, but I can definitely see him being something a little bit more of the submissive type, she would say. As after saying that, Emerald would say this. Yeah, whatever. We should probably get back to our rooms. As after saying that, they would basically leave. Currently with Izuku and the rest of, or at least the rest of the girls, as Izuku would say this. So, hey, where are you going? He would say, as she would say this. Oh, nowhere, haha, she would say, as she would say this. Anyway, Wise told me that you had to make some, baked goods for the party later. Or more specifically, the, wait for a second, god dang it. By the way, apparently, Wise wanted to talk to you. Apparently, she wants you to, at least make some food for, for the Festival, she would say, as he would say this. Seriously? He would say, as she would say this. Yeah, apparently it's for, for the visiting students there. As he would say this. Let me guess. Getting some info, he would say. As she would say this. Yeah, and not only that. Well, she said that more specifically she also wants to get ready in case of somebody visiting, she would say. As Izuku would say this. Somebody visiting? He would question as she would say this. Yeah, I don't really know what that's supposed to mean, but it's probably somebody important to her. As after saying that, he would say this. Oh, sure then. As one of them would say this. Specifically, Dub. Wait, you can cook? Or bake, she would say. As he would say this. Yeah, I was sort of learned how to do that during my time in the, in the Temple of Om. As after saying that, one of them would say this. Specifically, Specifically, Skyla. As Skyla would say this. Maybe you should try and, make me some food as well. Maybe some of those pastries that I keep hearing about. As he would say this. Yeah, okay, sure, he would say. As after saying that, they would basically start to leave and would go back to, their dorms. After doing so, we move to a different perspective. In this case, the perspective of, her, aka, Ruby. As she would start going back to her room. As, after arriving at her dorm room, she would go to, to the rest of the others. Specifically, Blake, Yang, Weiss, and not only that, wait for a second, what is her name again? Star, and finally Amphitrite. Wait for a second, god dang it, what the heck was that sound? So, after basically walking back, she would go to, to her dorm room as she would see the rest of the others, as she would say this. So you're planning to go, with us? Said, Ruby, telling that to Star, as she would say this. Yeah, after hearing that you're planning to go investigate about the White Fang, I was pretty interested, she would say. As she would say this, specifically, Weiss. I guess so. Then, if it's okay, then we should probably just, split into, teams of 3. As after saying that, one of them would say this. So, guess I'll be going with Weiss, she would say. As after saying that, Vice would just look at Ruby as she would say this. Ah, fine, she would say. And as for the others, they would start pairing up with the others, and they would start leaving. So, it was currently, midday as everybody would start leaving into the bullheads, never to be seen again. So, we currently go back to Izuku, as Izuku's basically doing his own thing. As Izuku's, with the rest of his team, as Izuku's basically there, basically just like, on the couch with the others. Well, two of them are basically leaning on to Izuku's, shoulder, because they're currently asleep for some odd reason. And for, Rachel was basically, sleeping on his, lap. The reason why is because, they're watching a, movie, and they slept, halfway through the movie. As he would say this to himself. Am I seriously that soft? He would say to himself. As after saying that, he would hear the knock on the door, as he would say this. Ah, shice, he would say, as he would grab a few pillows nearby, thanks to help of his, Deva path, and would basically put them on all three of the girls. After basically walking towards, the front door, he would open it and would see, not Fortuna, I meant Amphitrite, aka, Neptune. Actually, I'm just gonna call her Neptune from now on, because, it's a bit, annoying to say, so, yeah, I'm gonna be calling her Neptune. But, all of you guys are just going to think in your minds that it's probably just gonna be called Amphitrite. So, yeah, Amphitrite, but I'm just gonna call her, Neptune. And would see, Yang, as he would say this. So, hey, Neptune, Yang, what are you doing here? As Neptune would say this. Well, we're here because we want some help. As he would say this. Help? With what? As, Yang would say this. Well, we're here to basically investigate the White Fang, so we need your help right now. As he would say this. Sure. Let me just change into my, outfit, like I should say. After saying that, he would just leave and would basically change into his, battle uniform. As after doing so, they would start leaving. As after arriving at the, at the gate, Izuku would notice that she's riding on a bike. As he would say this. Huh, I didn't know that you have a bike, he would say. As she would say this. Oh yeah, this little baby over here is called Bumblebee, she would say. As he would say this. Huh, quite interesting, he would say. But I won't be riding on that. You can just ride on that, Neptune, he would say. As she would say this. Sure, but why? I mean, as he would basically say this. Well, it's because of this. Allow me to show you, he would say. As he would basically raise up his hand, as he would say this. Animal Path! Summoning Jutsu, he would say. As a large explosion of dust would basically, would be erupted. As a large beast would basically appear. Resembling a large, vulture with, several, piercings all over its, body. As both of its eyes seem to be the same eyes as Izuku's eye, Izuku's Renegon, or Six Tomoe Renegon. As after seeing this, she would say, what in the... As, after Neptune saw that, Yang would say this. Yeah, let's just say that he's able to do some stuff that are not really normal at all, she would say, as he would say this. Now, let's go, he would say, as everybody, or at least, all three of them would start leaving. So, while they were leaving, they would basically arrive at where they're supposed to be. More specifically, so, after a while of basically driving, or in this case, Izuku is basically flying, they would arrive at a small bar. In fact, it seems to be quite, distinct, with a large, billboard saying, Junior's Club. After basically seeing that, he would basically, basically tell the, large bird to basically go away. After doing so, it would just, dissipate into, into smoke. After doing so, he would say this. So, this was the place, right? As, Neptune would say this. Yeah, I think so, said, Neptune, as, Yang would say this. Yeah, welcome... What the Anyway, continuing on with the episode. If you don't know what I'm watching, in the background, it's, Russian Badger. And, by the way, some of the references that I made in the past, well, most of them are from Russian Badger at the time. So, yeah, continuing on with the episode. as we currently see Izuku there, as he would say this. So, why are we here exactly? As she would say this. Well, this is apparently where, some of the, members in the White Fang, not really White Fang, but more like, one of like, Torchwick's like, minions came from. Or at least I think so. As he would say this. So, did you come to this bar? As she would say this. Yeah, as he would say this. But you're underage, he would say. As she would say this. Well, if you're old enough to kill, that means you're old enough to drink, she would say. As he would say this. Actually, that's a pretty good, saying, but still, he would say. As she would say this. Anyway, we should probably get in. After doing so, they would basically open the doors as several people would just look at them. As one of them would say this. As one of them would say this. Oh, what is it, Jerry? He would say. A man with, wait for a second. As you would see a man with, some glasses on, as he seems to have a pretty normalish, haircut, and a pretty nice beard and mustache. As you would see this. Oh, great, he would say. Hey Yang, he would say, as he would say this. Oh, hey Junior, he would say, as he would say this. Junior, he would say, said Izuku, as he would say this. Oh, you must be new here, he would say. The name's Junior. Junior Xiang. Or at least I think that's the pronunciation. Or at least I think that's the pronunciation of his name. I'm not really good with Chinese names at all, but my cousin does, because mostly he came, mostly because he's he's basically attending like a school that speaks Chinese as well. Which, by the way, I'm definitely feel bad for him. Apparently, he said that it's pretty horrible. Yeah, feel bad for him. So, as, Izzy could say this. Hello there, he would say, as he would say this. So, you must be new here. And he would start looking towards, Yang, as he would say this. So, mind telling me what you're here exactly, he would say. As one of the guys would say, wait, that's the, as, one of the guys would say this. That's the girl that beat us up last time, he would say. And as one of them would say this, no way, that's the monster, he would say. As, some of them are basically afraid looking at Izuku, as he would say this. What? Said Junior, as he would say this. That's the monster that we fought against, boss, he would say, as he would say this. Boss? He would just look at him as he would say this, specifically one of them, or at least one of the grunts. Yeah, you're the guy that we met during the, dust hunt, yeah, he would say. As one of them would say this. Yeah, that's the guy that we told you about. The guy that, that we fought, when we got in that job from that Torchwood guy, he would say. As he would say this. Huh, so you must be that guy. He would say. I thought you would be a little bit older after hearing the description, he would say. As he would say this. Yeah, I sort of get that a lot. Anyway, we're here about, the whole White Fang thing, he would say. After hearing about this, he would say, White Fang? He would just be a little bit confused as he would say this. Specifically, Yang. Yeah, apparently Roman Torchwick has been working with the White Fang, and some of your members have been working with, Torchwick as well. As after a bit of, talking, and also a bit of, having, a bit of a conversation, well, they would mostly get some information, mostly about, what the heck is going on. Apparently, Junior, as I'm going to be calling him, is, apparently a sort of, I guess can say, sort of, mercenary group. Or at least the Junior's bar. And they basically, give up some of their men to basically, act as, workers. Like, for example, bodyguards to, assassination, or, as regular huntsmen. But apparently, one of their men would basically, go out of their way to basically work with, Roman Torchwick for just one time. After hearing about this, he would decide to basically try and visit the guy and basically, and I quote, punish the guy, he would say. But during their conversation, two people would basically walk in. And you probably know who they are. We see a girl, two girls more specifically. Both of them seem to have the same colored eyes and hair, specifically dark hair, and also, greenish eyes. Almost the same color as his original eyes, aka Izuku's eyes. One of them seems to be wearing, all red. and with the black like a fluffy collar, while the other one has the sort of like opposite, where she's wearing like pure white with some blue accent type colors on her, on a similar like a similar like dress to her, aka the other one. While they were looking around, one of them would say this, "Hey, Junior," she would say, as he would say this. "Ah, you're back," he would say, as one of the girls would say this. "Oh, hey, Yang," said one of them, as she would say this. "Oh, hello, let me just check her name again. Oh, hello, Melanie," she would say, as he would say this. Who? He would look towards them, as one of them would say this. "Hey, I think her name was like Melchedis. I don't really know what the when I tried looking up a video hearing their know the pronunciation of their names, it's so annoying. Like I don't know how they. So I'm just gonna be calling them just Melchedis, the red one, and the white one, Melanie for now. Oh, as she would say this. "Oh, who is that?" said Melchedis, being the red one. As Melanie would say this. "Oh, that must be the boy from that video, remember?" she would say, as she would say this. "Oh, that one. The three-eyed demon," she would say, as he would say this. "Seriously, does anybody just call me by my normal name?" he would say to himself, as one of them would say this. "Wait a minute," said Yang. "What are you doing here?" she would say, as they would say this. "Oh, just got off after a mission," as she would start walking towards Izuku, as she would say this. But either way, as Melanie would start touching Izuku's chin, as she would take off his mask, as she would say this. My, I never known that you're that cute in person," she would say, as all the people there were just like confused and also just like shocked, as Junior over there would say, "Wait, hold up, seriously, hold up," he would say to himself, as she would say this. "Huh, I never seen a guy like you before. Like seriously, after seeing that video, it certainly piqued my interest seeing you." As she would start, touching his chin a little bit, as Izuku was just like confused, like instantly confused, going like, ah. As we currently see an angry, Yang, as she would say this. "Please do not touch him," she would say, as she would say this. "Or what?" she would say, as Melchedis will basically, get in their way, as Melchedis would say this. "Yeah, I mean, why not we, why not? I mean, we're pretty much superstars," she would say, as she would say this. "Oh, why you?" she would say, as she would get ready her, gauntlets, as well, for Neptune, or Amphitrite, or whatever you want to call her at this point. And, Neptune would basically ready her weapon, as her weapon would resembles a naginata, a white one to be more specific, as both of them would start to fight. Yeah, technically, Neptune is not really that close to Izuku, but because she's, with Yang, well, she has to listen to her. So, currently, they're, fighting against... Sorry about that, god dang it. Sorry about that. As while they're fighting, Izuku was just like, just confused at this point. As he would notice that their fighting style is a bit unique. Like, for example, wait for a second. Melchedis seems to be, wielding claws, while for, Melanie, she seems to be more focusing on kicking type attacks, like, like back kicks, things of that sort. While they're fighting, Junior would say this. "So, how do you know Yang?" he would say, as he would say this. "Oh, we're sort of like used to be teammates, but I currently, I sort of transferred to a new team," he would say, as he would say this. "I see. Then, what exactly, why are my, sort of daughters basically like, sort of in love with you?" he would say, as he would say this. "I'm guessing it's because of the video," he would say, as he would say this. "Video?" As he would show him the video of him basically showing off his abilities. As he would start to pale, as he would say, "Wait, you're that powerful?" he would say, as he would say this. Yeah, extremely powerful, but I won't be telling you any of my other abilities. Mostly because I'm going to be showing them off in the Vista Festival. I meant the Vista Festival, he would say. As he would say this. I see. So, should you... As you would say this. Yeah, I should probably stop the battle right now, he would say. As he would basically, bring up his hands, as he would say this. Now, as he would basically put his hands in like a, in a prayer type like motion, basically like, slamming his hands together, as he would scream out. Wood style, wood prison, he would see. He would say, as large roots would basically appear out of nowhere and would block the attacks, and they would start, they would start being caged in a large, wooden like, formation. As one of them would say this, specifically, Melanie, what the heck is going on? She would say, as she would try to kick down the wood, but unlike regular wood, this wood is harder than freaking steel. As one of them would say this, specifically, Neptune. What the? Why can I cut it? She would say. As he would say this. Well, because it's not normal wood. It's a special type of wood that I'm able to produce, he would say. As, one of them would say this, specifically, what is her name again? As Melchidus would say this. Can you please let us out? Shice! As after saying that, he would say this. Sure, but please, both of you, four of you, please stop fighting, he would say. As, Melanie would say this. Fine, but it's mostly just for you, she would say. As she would basically give off a wink. Which caused, Yang to become a little bit angry, while for Neptune herself, well, she was just dumbfounded just seeing this. As after doing so, Izuku would basically start to leave with Yang, and also, well, and also, her, aka, Neptune. But before they can leave, Melanie would basically come up to him, and she would say this. Oh, and by the way, she would say, hope to see you again, she would say, as she would basically lead him closer, and would basically kiss him right in the, on the cheek. And not only that, one of them specifically, Melchidus. Let me just check again. Melchidus would basically, come up to him, and she would also kiss him on his other cheek. Which caused Yang to basically grow a little bit angry, as her hair would start flaring up, becoming a little bit fiery, while her eyes would start becoming a little bit red, as he would say this. As his face would start becoming a little bit red, as he would say, I think it's better for us to basically leave, he would say, as he would start, summoning out a large bird, which caused all of them to be in shock. Mostly Junior, because currently he's, dumbfounded seeing his power, as he would say this to himself. Yeah, I probably need to get something. Probably a drink, he would say to himself. Well, Melanie and Melchidus are basically just like dumbfounded, like completely, dumbstruck seeing his powers. As Melanie would say this to herself. Well, I do like men with power, she would say. As she would start licking her lips, while, Melchidus is just like, a bit scared, but also, let me give you a hint. It's the opposite of turned off. God dang it. And so, both of them would basically start to leave. All three of them would basically start to leave. So yeah, I'm probably going to be ending this episode right off here. Actually, it's not going to be a probably. It's actually, a actual thing. Okay, anyway, continuing on. Anyway, so, I'm going to be ending off the episode right off here. So yeah, so, I hope you liked the video. Comment and subscribe, and before I actually, leave this episode right off there, well, hope to have a, I hope all of you guys out there basically have a great Christmas, especially me, because I'm probably gonna get some good presents. Anyway, continuing on, so, I hope you liked the video, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time, and also, hope to see you guys on Christmas, or at least, have a good Christmas, at least, okay? Bye!